Well, hello everybody and welcome back here on Eiersholt farm. It's midwinter, towards the second half of winter actually, and I've waited to start recording until there was a bit of daylight, so we've already sorted out the animals because, as usual, we've got a few jobs to be getting on with. The main one today is going to be getting some logging done up in the main area. In fact, we're going to start by heading up to the forest area. I cut down some more trees yesterday before it got dark, and we're just going to head up because they need to get branched. Maybe I should still put lights on. It's still feeling a little bit dark even at this time of the day. So we're going to head up there and we're going to get those trees cleared off. We got quite a bit cut down over the last few days. I didn't record an episode of me cutting down a ton of trees because, well, I don't think it makes for fantastic footage unless you really know what you're doing. But we still got to load them up and get them sold. So while we're driving down, you can also see that we are up to 916,000 euros, and that's actually after spending a little bit of money. You'll see what I've been spending them on in a little bit. But that's from selling the grain now. But now we have basically sold everything that we are gonna sell for now. Maybe we got a little bit of spare corn sitting in the silo still, but that fetches a much better price later in the year towards summer anyway. So we're not going to be selling any more right now, but we have a lot of money and we are going to be investing some. It's going to be in the next episode before we do that, because today we're going to try and see how much further we can push our income here by getting some logs out. As you can see, we've been clear felling quite a large area. We're almost right up to the phone mast here. In fact, we can just stop the car here. Yeah, so it's getting very open up here. Obviously we will have to sort it out, but I'm gonna have to debranch these trees here, and then we're gonna get the John Deere 6R up here to drag the logs down. We've got some piles over on the other side of that hill, and then finally we're going to start getting them loaded up. But I'll get started with this. I'm probably not going to record all of this because, well, it takes a little while and get all these branches off, and it's sort of just a bit of a messy look. But we'll see in a minute. So here we go. We got the branches taken off, the remaining logs up here. As you can see, there were a few, not too many. I think I managed to get it all. That's some bushes on the ground right there. But this is also a pretty good opportunity for us to see where we've been working. You can kind of see the tracks where we've been driving in and out through the snow. But we've been clearing a fair bit, and there's a little bit more that needs to be dragged down to the log pile over on this side as well. We've got all that debranched, so there's a fair bit of work to be done just on getting logs dragged out. And then we have quite a sizable pile of logs here, and we actually have another one further up the road here. And here's the second log pile, kind of sitting on the other side of the road, but also grown fairly substantial. So we're going to try and we might have to cut some of the logs into smaller pieces to fit them onto trailers and get them to the sawmill. But we are going to have a little bit of help first to get the logs dragged out, and then to do a couple of other things. But we're just going to head down to the farm because we also got to take our Titan spreader down to the shop for service. It's too big to fit onto our own workshop, so it needs to. We already got it on the low loader, but we need to make sure we take it down here in the morning so it can get serviced again pretty soon. So we got the Titan loaded yesterday, but because it's still quite cold, we left it in here in the shed. That helps keep the truck from freezing up completely as well. But it's gonna be a run that we've done many a time to get the spreader sorted out. Just gotta make sure that we get out of here in one piece and that we're not gonna hit anything. Maybe I shouldn't have left the car right there, but I think I can just about get around. There we go. We did have a little bit of extra snow since last episode, and we did get a little bit of snow clearing done, but actually most of the patches you see is simply from the compaction where we've been driving vehicles and snow melt. In the meantime, we did have a little bit of a warmer period here in the middle of winter, so it's not been too bad. I mean, it's kind of pretty with all the snow actually. So far so good in terms of winter. We've mainly been cutting down trees, to be honest, and we did those few other jobs at the beginning. So and feeding animals obviously and keeping them clean and everything like that. And that's progressing. We have been amassing quite a lot of manure over the winter here. So I am starting to lean. I know I said in an earlier episode that I didn't really fancy going into buying a manure spreader, but we got so much now that I think it might actually be a good idea. We should have enough to start almost covering entire fields, even with the fields the size they are here on Eiersholt. So we will be looking into buying some new machinery and definitely also some more land. But like I mentioned earlier, that is going to be in the next episode. Today our focus is on getting some logging sorted out, and we have an awful lot of logs to shift. So we are actually going to be enrolling a little bit of help. When I sold the grains, we actually temporarily popped up over €1 million, and I have been spending some money. I have purchased a new machine, which is sitting down here at the dealership, ready to go onto this flatbed while the Titan is in getting its service. So we're going to take a look at that just as we're arriving here. So there's the Titan sitting ready on the flatbed just to go over to the workshop to get serviced. And over here, tucked away in the corner, is our new Leers 902 tracked excavator with a fairly large log grab on it. Now I have to admit, I'm not super familiar with these machines, so it might take me a little while to get familiar with the controls. But by and large, I think this should work out. You can get a shovel for it as well, so although it is primarily purchased for forestry operations, we could theoretically use it if we need to shift a lot of silage or manure back on the farm or something like that at some point as well. But it is mainly bought for forestry operations. We still have a lot of trees up in that forest. But we better get the Titan unloaded and then get our new excavator loaded so we can take it up to the forest. And then I almost forgot to mention that part of the purchase was also this rather sizable trailer for timber. We do have a smaller one for tractors, and we might be running that one as well, but like I mentioned, if we can avoid having to cut the logs too much, it will simply be quicker and easier to be able to load them onto this longer trailer. So the truck is once again going to be very busy here on Eiersholt. In fact, there might be sense in starting to wonder whether we need another truck at some point. But let's get this sorted first. So the case is basically just going to go over to get repaired. It is just around half, so it's not disastrously bad, but we know we're going to be running it a fair bit, especially if we buy new land that needs lime spreading on it as well. So we're going to leave that here, for today for the guys to do their service work on, and we're going to get into our excavator and get that up onto the flatbed. I love that sound of it. You can hear the belts kind of clacking along. Feels quite realistic. But we'll see. I hope it fits. I haven't actually tested this. It looks kind of wide. Wonder if I should have been going on the other way around. We'll try and reverse it on first, and if that goes terribly wrong, we'll bring it in the other way. No, looks like we're doing okay. And it fits. It fits just fine. It's almost like it was built for this. As we're coming in from the other side, we can actually see that there's still a lot of forest to clear over on this side. Obviously we are going to be replanting it as well sometime in the new year when we have a quiet period. We need to grind up the stumps and invest in a tree planter, but first of all we've got to realize some value from all the timber that's sitting here as well. So there's still a lot to go, which is why I think this might be a sound investment. I hope it will be, at least. It did cost about 90,000 euros, so it's not super cheap, but at the same time we got a lot of logs to load. I am not gonna be braving a snowy road with this low loader, so we're gonna be taking the lever off down here, and then it's not too long or too far up to where the first set of logs are. I think one of the benefits of a loader like this is that we can keep things a little bit tighter. With a front loader or telehandler, you do a lot of reversing backwards and forwards and trying to get things lined up. Here we shouldn't need quite so much space, but we need to bring the last logs out before we really start using this thing in anger, and we got to bring the log trail up as well. So we got the 6R finally up to the forest. It's got the winch on the back, which is going to help us drag the logs out to the site where the other logs already are, and it will help us get them loaded onto the trailer that is on its way up from the dealership. You usually try and get a few on at a time, but you don't want them too sort of distanced. First we're simply going to hop out, and it's a fantastic, I love this piece of machinery, but we're basically just going to attach wire here, and we're going to try and bring it over a bit before we attach the next one. So we've got a remote control for the winch, allows us to bring logs a bit closer. These are going to be a little bit far apart, a little bit further than I would like, but we can still try and drag them and see how it goes, and then we'll get some more of the ones that line closer together in here. So you can see now, obviously, because there's quite a bit of distance between them, they don't really pull straight like we'd prefer them to, but we can still get them over there. and then basically use the blade to push them into place afterwards. I can see we missed a bit of a branch there. It's kind of turned up as we dragged it. There we go. That's better. We just need to pull them in a little bit more, and then they'll be in position. And then we just loosen the chain from the first one, and now basically uncoil it from all of them. Then we'll give them a little bit of a nudge in, because we don't want the road completely blocked for when the truck comes through. Obviously it'll need to be able to get the logs loaded on, so there needs to be a little bit of space here. So I'm just going to lower the blade and nudge them all in a bit. Sometimes you can use it to almost lift one or two logs at a time if they need to be pushed, but then they start spinning a bit like just happened there. So it can take a little time, but we're getting there. We can see we've got quite a bit down on this side of the field as well to get sorted. So it's probably going to take a good part of the day. Will be a sliding on the snow here where the slope's a bit steeper. Might be a challenge. We might have to bring those logs down onto the flatter area here, even if it's just a smaller pile. So that's the southern side of logs pretty much cleared up now. We've still got a pile over on this side, but I think log trailer is going to be here pretty soon, so it may be that we break off and try and get familiar with our new log grab and see if we can get that to work for loading of a trailer. It's not exactly a smooth road here in winter, but the truck seems to be handling it reasonably okay. It seems to be getting dark already, and daylight's burning up fairly quickly, so I don't fully expect us to complete the logging in this one midwinter day. But we're going to see how far we get, and See how much we at least make roughly per load here. Once I get to grips with this new machine, I'm not quite sure what is the best. I think we want to try and place it so that you lift logs approximately in the middle to keep some balance in it, but I'm not 100% sure. We'll see how it goes. Right, so here we go. After quite a lot of trials and tribulations with this lever, and a definite lesson that I probably should be investing in a proper forestry machine that can cut proper lengths, because trying to lift and find the right length to cut is turning out to be actually an enormous pain in the neck here. But it is what it is. Trees are cut, and we need to recover the value. But in order for me to preserve my sanity and to try and see roughly how much we can expect, we're going to see if we can get ourselves finagled out of here, even though I've been tossing logs everywhere. I think there's a couple of them that we can manage to shift by hand at least. Maybe it's no harm that it's a smaller load, because we are sliding down the hill here, and I think with any more weight on, that could have gone pretty wrong and we could have tipped the whole thing. But we made it, and we'll be out on a much drier road soon. Weather's holding up pretty decent. Ground's frozen right now, so there is not much else we can do, and this should be hopefully pretty decent value once we get down there and sell it. So we're getting down to the sawmill, and you can see they haven't really cleared their grounds here, so I hope we're not going to be sliding around too much as we get to it here. Access to where we're selling the logs is sort of around us. I'm never sure whether I'm actually supposed to be going this way, but we almost jackknifed the truck there. I think we can manage to sneak around like this. Makes it easier than having to reverse in, although it's already a lot easier on this version of the map. So let's see how much we will bring in for a small trailer load like this. Wow, okay, 31,000. Okay, that's good. That's really good. We are on easy economy, as I've mentioned before, to basically be able to progress Eiersholt farm while we're doing all the recording and editing and stuff like that as well. But 31,000, that is brilliant, because that means our labor cost about 90-odd thousand with the log grab. So that means 3 of these loads, and then we are basically making profit again. So that's pretty good. So we're already back up to close to 950,000. So what I'm going to do is, off screen, I am going to be getting myself properly trained up in using the lever. I won't I won't make you sit through that. Instead, what we're going to do today is we're just going to leave the log trailer at the dealership. We'll get the Titan fully serviced and brought back up to the farm. And we just got to check, because I think our cows were very, very close to calving this morning. So I think it'll be good just to take a final check for today. And then the next day of winter will be spent with me probably sweating and cursing quite a bit over the controls of the lever to begin with, and then getting a little bit more familiar with it. And at the beginning of next episode, we will have sold all of the wood, and that will basically give us the budget, the amount of money that we have to, well, not play with, but to work with, because we want to expand the farm, both in terms of land and in terms of machinery. So there are quite a few things on the shopping list already, which we'll go through in the next episode. But for now, let's just get to the dealership here and see how much the bill was for the Titan. So 859 euros to get our Titan sorted out. Not too bad. Some of the tractors were a lot more expensive than that, so I can live with that. It's an important machine on our farm. We use it a lot. It really helps with doing the lime and stuff. Oh dear, almost blocking the wheel there completely as I'm trying to turn in this now. This dealership really should have cleared its grounds now. I'm getting no traction with this thing at all. It's ridiculous. Anyway, that is the joys of winter and seasons, and actually I really do like it. If anything, today I've been a little bit frustrated about how slow it's been with the logging. I'd hope it got a little bit more done in our last midwinter day here. But that's the way it is when you gotta learn how to do something. It takes time, it takes some dedication, and we'll get that sorted out off screen. And oh dear, oh no, we're all good. We're gonna put some hazard on as we bring our Titan back up to the farm. So we're back on the farm with a fully repaired and serviced Titan spreader. We'll get that one put back down in its shed here. We're still going to leave the low loader sitting out here somewhere, and then we're just going to have a quick check on the cows afterwards. Excellent, that's it back in the shed, so we can get the door closed off before any more snow falls in there. I'll sort out the truck in a minute. Let's go and have a quick look at the cows, because like I said, I'm pretty sure that calving the first ones was pretty close. So here we are. We had 51 cows in the last episode, and we now have 59 cows. So we've had 8 calves. As we can see, we've got these 41 and 44 kilo Holsteins, they are the ones that will have been basically been born today. So there's what I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there, and there must be some more down at the bottom. Yes, there's another 3. That makes sense. So 8 in total, and we're now producing milk. That is brilliant. We already got 1,500 liters. So with that, with a sort of half-hearted attempt at some logging this time around, and just a few chores here on the farm, we're going to call it an episode, even if it's a little bit short, because, well, winter work sometimes is just a little bit more monotonous or trivial to watch, especially when I'm not very good at logging. But next episode, we are going to have a ton of money, and we are going to be spending a ton of money as well. So if you want to see what new machinery comes into the farm, what new fields and areas we're going to bring in, do drop by again. And if you enjoy watching about Eiersholt, please do consider hitting the like and or the subscribe button. But for now, it's thank you very much from Overcord Gaming, and I'll see you again soon.